My name's Dave DeBow, founder of MoneyPartnerFormula.com, and this show is built for everyday real estate investors who are actively doing deals and looking to scale using other people's money. So if you're an active real estate investor and you want to get featured on this show to talk about your own real estate and capital raising experiences, then just go to daveinterviewsyou.com. Now let's get rolling with this episode, and remember to subscribe for daily interview content. Welcome back, folks. Hey, let me ask you a question. Have you ever thought, how cool would it be if I could just have access to all of the information I could ever want about all of the different kinds of properties that I'd like to buy? How cool would it be to have access to all of that data at your fingertips? Well, hey, if you've ever thought that, and if you haven't, you should be thinking that. If you're an active real estate investor, you're always looking for deals. Today's special guest, zooming in, I believe Cooper City, just outside of Miami, Florida. We've got Jesus Toledo, who is an active real estate investor, a flipper, and he's also one of those really smart data guys. And he's got a service where he helps other real estate investors just really take a data-driven approach to finding a high volume of deals. So Jesus, welcome to the show. Great to have you.
Thank you. Welcome. I'm so grateful to be here. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. All right. So Jesus, dumb it down for a dummy like me. And let's just pretend you had to explain what you do to a not very bright 13-year-old. All right. So kind of explain big picture. How do you help flippers and wholesalers find really, really good deals?
I'm not going to have a hard time dumbing it down because I'm not that smart myself. My team is the genius behind I'm just the face.
Yeah, you're just the pretty face. Don't be so modest. But anyhow, that's good. That's good.
Oh, I would say the best way to describe what we do is we help wholesalers and flippers who are doing direct mail, cold call, and SMS get more leads consistently without having to spend more. And the way that we do that is we work as a partnership with our clients and we help them identify what is their ideal buy box, right? What type of properties do they buy? What is the 80-20 in their data that they've done in the past so we can find more in the future. And then we predict for the sellers more likely to sell at a discount. And then we help them apply the 80-20 principle. If your audience is not familiar or somebody's not familiar with the
Pareto principle, yeah, I think we've heard
20% of your efforts will create 80% of your results. So the idea behind it is we help you identify what is the 20% of data that will produce you 80% of the results. And then one layer deeper is applying what marketing pieces, how often are you engaging with them so you produce the maximum results that you can get from that list.
Okay, that's pretty good at dumbing it down. I'm going to ask you to kind of walk us through it. So maybe give us an example, either yourself, because you're actively flipping as well. Why don't we just, if you're open to it, why don't we just use you as an example? So, how does it work? How do you do it?
So when we work with our clients, the first thing that we do on our onboarding call is instead of asking them, wait, what's your preferences? What are your buying preferences? What price range? What zip codes? We take a step back and we say, can you send us your deals? We will reverse engineer them, prepare a report for you, and show in a map and a bunch of nice graphs, here's where you've done most of your deals.
Yeah.
Here's the type of properties that you purchase. Here's the type of sellers that you purchase from, right? And help them understand really what they've done in the past. And we layer that with what's happening in their market today. So we look at all the deals, the flips, the wholesales, everything that we can find that happen in the market, not only from them, but from their competition as well. And we show them the exact same report. And now you have what I've done, what the market is doing, and I can create a very consolidated buy box of what I want to achieve, right? I'll give this example. We flip and wholesale here in the South Florida market. We do not do properties above $1 million, $1.5 million, right? We do not. It doesn't matter. We do not have a good buyers list. We're not good flippers at that level. There's a few things that go outside. So just understanding that this is where we live. And although it might be that the market have some opportunities, there are some high-end flippers in Miami for sure. but
Mhm.
we choose not to be that. But
Yeah.
having the data allows us to make a more informed decision on what do I do really well, what is the market, and I look at opportunities and I choose to go after those opportunities or not.
Okay, very good. I think I'm getting my head around it, Jesus. So, what would be kind of like the minimum viable number of deals for you and the company to look at to create some valid data for somebody? Like,
That's a great question.
yeah,
It's a great question. We try to get a minimum 50 deals. We can go as back as 3 years. Ideally, we want to be in the hundreds of deals so we can really look at that data, the better. Now, the advantage of having the market deals is even if you are, let's say you are doing 20, 30 deals a year, right? So you have in the last few years, 50, 60 deals, we can still look at the market and say, okay, look, you're young, you're green. Let's look at what the market is doing, your competition is doing, and let's make some decisions together. And
mhm.
that's one of the things that sets us apart is our customer success. We have super well-trained customer success managers that are not only supporting with questions or guiding you all the way through these steps to make sure that you get the best buy box possible. So then we can predict within your buy box who are the sellers more likely to sell at a discount.
Okay, very good. So, would you say currently are more of your clients wholesalers or flippers?
I would say it's a good mix. Any like at that level, our average client is doing around 150 deals a year. They do a mix, right? They
Yeah.
keep some rentals. They wholesale some. They flip some. We do not only work with people at that level. We work with the up and coming guys, but we want to work with the guys who are serious about real estate
Yeah,
investing,
they
right?
really know what they're doing. They got, because
They have a
again,
small team in
yeah,
place, they're doing well, and they want, like, the way that we think about this, we're like the gasoline that you put on your existing fire. If you
yeah,
already have a fire going on, we can go in there and make everything better.
very, very cool. Okay, so again, just backing out big picture here. Let's say I'm a flipper, wholesaler, combination, whatever. I'm doing a pretty good uh, number of deals a year. Uh, we figured out what the buy box is, what my 80/20 is. We figure out what's going on in the market. Then what does that look like for helping me to really dial things in and pour on the gas? So are you saying, okay, hey, you're going to probably have a higher likelihood of finding the kind of properties you're looking for at the price range you want in these neighborhoods? So start whacking those guys with the direct mail, start focusing the Facebook ads on those areas. How does that kind of work?
Yeah, the main thing is understanding, like, as a real estate investor, when the phone rings or somebody fill out a web form or you talk to somebody, you have to understand the levels of motivation or
Yeah.
distress or what they're going through, right? Uh, the best example that I always gives is imagine just a high equity owner who's been living in the house for 10 years, maybe nothing going on with their life. They fill out a form, right? And then you have another seller that fill out a form and tells you they're going through pre-foreclosure. They just got divorced, and a lot of things are going on in their life.
Yeah.
If you had both leads come in at the same moment, which one would you call first?
Well, the motivated one, obviously. Yeah.
And if they don't pick up, who would you call more often to try to get them to answer the phone?
Probably the motivated guy. Yeah.
Right? So we
Yeah.
take that approach to marketing. We have the data points. We know financial behaviors. We know a lot of things that we look in the back end, thousands of data points. So we know what's going on. So when we give the data to our clients, we give it in little tiers. We call 3 tiers to make it a little simpler. And our first tier is like that level of divorce going on, a lot of financial indicators, a lot of things
Ah,
going on in
okay.
their
So
life.
so the seller might not even know they're a seller yet. All but you know that they're going through a shitstorm in their personal life, so that there's a high likelihood that person could be a motivated seller. Am I getting that?
Exactly. And we
Yeah.
look at property data, we look at seller data. We prioritize more the property data because those we know as a fact.
Yeah.
But we also layer in everything else. And then we help them build a plan, right? So if I know these few thousand of sellers are extremely more likely to sell at a discount,
Yeah.
Let's target them very aggressively. Let's mail them twice a month
Hmm.
for a little bit, right? Let's
With
call
specific
them.
messaging depending on what the situation is they're going
Exactly.
through, right? Yeah.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
that's the beauty of having all the data. It allows, it's actually one of our features is the targeted messaging. So you don't have to send generic letters or postcards
Yeah.
to everyone. You send one that is very specific to what's going on with them, right? And that's our solution. That's the help that we give our clients. Not only, hey, here's a list, go figure it out. We say,
Yeah.
here's a list, and how you use it, it's super important.
So do you have like are you guys offering mailing services, or you're connected to a mailing service provider, and you guys kind of set up the assets, marketing assets for your clients? So it's kind of a press and go kind of situation. Is that what I'm understanding?
Good question. And it's a mix. We
Yeah.
can help our clients and hey, here's some best practice. This is how I think you should do it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
This is our experience. This is what we've seen that works. You can try and go do it yourself, or we have a sister company that we partner with that, hey, if you don't want to do any of that, let us
We
do it
can
for you.
we
And it's a
can we
kind
can
of an
refer somebody
agency,
that can do that for you.
a
Yeah.
high level direct mail agency. It's called DM Force. And it goes in there. And at that point, you just meet once every couple of weeks, once a month, look at the numbers, make some little adjustments, and we handle everything else from there and make your phone ring.
Very, very cool. All right. So you're finding the data, you're creating the lists, you're sending out, you can send out direct mail. What other kind of outreach do you have to these
Yeah.
prospects? You doing SMS stuff? You doing email, phone
We
calls?
don't
What do
do
you?
that. We
Yeah.
intentionally decided not to do cold call and SMS. There's a lot of regulations.
Yeah.
We did not want to go in that route of the risk
I
tolerance.
don't I don't
Uh,
blame you.
a lot of clients of ours do.
Mhm.
So we work with a few call centers that we have created what we call a feedback loop. That's super important. Like for anybody out there who's doing cold call and SMS, this is one tip that will change your business. It's super important. Every time you connect with somebody on the phone, if you can get your main goal is to validate if that number is the owner or the decision maker of that property.
Mhm.
Because when you skip trace, you get 5 to 10 numbers, sometimes even 15 numbers per property. Imagine how efficient it was if you only had one number per property and for sure is the owner.
Yeah.
Next time you dial them, you made it 10, 15 times more efficient to
Mhm.
call them. A lot of these call centers out there, they do not have a validation process. They do not consider a win. They are only looking for leads, and they're missing on 10 times more people they connected that was the owner, but they were not at the right time to sell or not in the right mindset to sell. So
Mhm.
just validating the owner and making sure that you have a feedback loop process
Yeah.
where you bring that data from the call centers into your master list. So next time you call, you only call one number, you don't call 10, right?
Yeah.
And
Sounds
that's a
sounds like
big
you had
thing.
to you learned that the hard way.
Yeah, absolutely. So we used to do taxing and cold calling for investors up until end of 2021. And with all the changes on the 10 DLC, we made a decision to stop. And that was one of the biggest things that we learned is imagine you call the owner who is on pre-foreclosure and divorce, right? A lot of things are going on in their life.
Yeah.
You call them and they say, hey, it's John, 123 Main Street. They say, yes. You considering selling the next 90 days? They say,
No,
F no, this is my house. I'm not selling this. Hangs up. Most investors, what do? Oh,
that's it.
nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nothing. For us, that's a win. I know something is going on. I know the phone number is the right number. Let's give them a day or two. We'll call them back in the right mindset. So that's the importance of having that feedback loop that I was telling about the data, because we work with the call center saying, hey, here's the data that's very important. If you validate the owner, or even if they don't pick up, dial them again very aggressive, even if they say whatever they say, right? We obviously respect if they say, don't call me again. But a lot of the times they don't say anything. It's just,
Yeah.
hey, I'm not selling. And we take that for face value and hang up.
Yeah. So you're not doing that anymore for clients. You're not doing calls or SMS.
We know,
So
but we
direct
work
mail.
with call centers in the back end. We do have the direct mail component.
Yeah.
We have call centers that we work and we manage the relationship for our clients.
Okay. So primarily direct mail and call center. That's the outreach that you're
And SMS,
approaching.
both of the SMS and cold call are almost a very similar process. Yes, we work with a call center to do it.
You're just not doing it yourselves. I get it.
We're not.
But I guess for your clients, their options for doing the outreach are direct mail, phone call,
Exactly.
text message, correct?
Exactly.
Those are
Yes.
the three. Anything else that I'm missing there?
No, I mean, you said it in the beginning. You said it right. Once we present those reports to them on based on what they've done and what they're doing, some of them are taking that data and applying into their digital strategies as well, like trying to display ads in more specific areas differently. But it's the information, the analytical part that we present to them. But that's mainly what we do is they take our data and we help them implement into those three channels.
Okay, so very robust system that you've got there, Jesus. What kind of vol what kind of volume are your average clients doing? So these are heavy duty flippers and wholesalers doing, you said, an average of 150 transactions a year. That's pretty serious. So what kind of volume of data are these kind of clients going through, let's say on a monthly basis? How many leads, and give or take, I know it's variable, but if they're doing the direct mail and if they're doing the text and the phone call, what kind of lead generation, what kind of volume of calls, or I even know how they appointments does that generate for these people? How does that work?
Yeah, it's a great question. The way that this is one of the nice things about our services, because we serve the same way that we would like to be served. So
Yeah.
when a client comes to us, they have a limited exclusivity in their market, right? So some markets, it's up to 5 investors maximum that we would take in their market. So they get access to the entire county data set. So if they mail 100,000, 200,000, 400,000 mail pieces, the price with us doesn't change. It changes on the management of the direct mail. The mail piece has a cost, obviously, but not on the data side. So when they sign up with us, they have unlimited data. And then we work with them understanding what's your marketing budget, right? Have you been sending 40,000 mailers every month? Are you calling? How many cold callers do you have? You have 5 cold callers on what's your budget for cold calling? What's your budget for SMS? And we work building those lists to fill those needs.
Yeah.
And then from there, we start adjusting because the marketing channels are cyclical, right? Some marketing channels start performing really well and the others one don't, and then it switches. So we work with them. We meet with our clients on a monthly basis to understand how each marketing channel is performing, what are the KPIs. And you mentioned that this is just a general number to give you a more specific answer on the number of properties per contract. This is industry averages. Our clients get a boost over this, but it's about 10,000 properties on, regardless of the marketing channel, for you to get one deal closed, right? So if you're budgeting, this is a very important thing for an investor trying to start or trying to grow their business, is understanding that one, you need consistency. Two, you need a minimum volume so you can expect any type of results, right? A lot of the times investors are sending 5,000 mailers every month. Will they get a deal? Yes, for sure.
Every
They
2 months
will. But
on
you don't
average.
know, right? You might have 2 in the first month and then it sucks for 6 months.
Yeah.
Right? Statistically, that can happen.
Yeah.
So understanding that if you're cold calling, one cold caller can call about 10,000 properties a month, right? Give or take full time. This is generic numbers. It will take you one cold caller calling full time to get on average a deal a month, right? So that's super important to understand. And our clients send more volume than that. Like we don't have minimums. We try to encourage them based on what's comfortable with them. And as
So
long as
maybe
it's
just,
working,
an average, and I know everybody's different, but just to give people an idea of the kind of volume required to have this
yeah.
level of a business.
Yeah, I would say 50,000 direct mail, 50,000 cold calls, and 50,000 text messages, like to get really good at what you do, right? That will give
Yeah.
you about 15 deals a month from those three channels.
Wow. Yeah, that's huge. And that's some serious volume. Um, so going back to I mean, it's repetitive too. So you're going back to the same neighborhoods
Oh, yes, that's
multiple
super
times
important because
over the years, right?
yes,
Yeah.
yes, you nailed it. This is the part of tiering the data that allows us to be very efficient.
Yeah.
Once we understand who are the more likely to sell and the least likely to sell, it doesn't mean that the least likely is not going to sell. It's
Yeah.
just less.
Yeah.
So we cycle through on a specific marketing frequencies, right? So to give an example, the lower tier of the data that we provide, we recommend mailing every 2 to 3 months. So you managing your budget so you can engage with a lot of people in all these neighborhoods, but
Yeah.
you're not recycling data like every month you need to pull new data.
Yeah.
We're actually reusing it strategically so it maximizes the return on your budget.
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. Fascinating stuff. Uh, Jesus, you and I are both kind of marketing nerds, so we could talk all day about this. But uh, hey, if people want to connect with you, if they are pretty serious flippers, wholesalers, they're looking for a serious number of leads and they'd like to find out more about your services, how should they get in touch with you?
Best way to go is go to our website, 8020rei.com. Make sure that they mention this podcast episode. They will get a 20% off in the onboarding fee. And we'll love to connect and discuss your needs and see if we might be a good fit for you.
What's the URL again, Jesus?
8020rei.com.
8020rei.com and just the numbers 80 and 20.
Exactly. Yes.
All right.
Yes.
8020.
8020rei.com.
Got it. Perfect. Cool. Hey, this has been fascinating. Thank you very much for kind of letting us peek behind the curtain as what you guys are doing. I think it's wonderful.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you. It was a pleasure meeting you and looking forward to connecting more.
All right, everybody, take care, and we will see you on the next episode. Hey there, I really hope you enjoyed that episode. And as always, if you want to listen to more daily interview content, make sure you subscribe. And if you're an active real estate investor and you're doing deals and you'd like to get featured on this show, then just head over to daveinterviewyou.com. Now at moneypartnerformula.com, we help real estate investors to create a process for predictably getting capital so they can do more deals without relying on hard money lenders or the banks. We do this by building them a private capital marketing system. Now, if you want help turning yourself into a big money capital attraction machine, then book a call with our team to see how we can help. Just visit moneypartnerformula.com to find out more. All right, take care, and we'll see you on the next interview.